Hello, everyone. Hi. Welcome back to Red Table Talk, one of the very few shows on this website that doesn't just accept literacy conceptually, but encourages it. We are here today, and naturally enough, the professor of the course is not. He sends his apologies like he does every week. I imagine at this point it's kind of falling on deaf ears. It can't mean very much at this point. He just keeps apologizing and not showing up. Nonetheless, here is his apology.
Hello again. I'm terribly sorry to miss another lesson. I don't want to make a habit of it, you see. The good news is my little dog is on the mend. Appears his doctors have been playing Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis on repeat. As is the wont of every true Briton. It's exactly the salve his little canine heart demanded. No, I'm afraid my reason for missing today's lecture is because I myself have taken ill, caught something. My doctors are saying that I have something called hantavirus. I can't imagine how I got it, although I have been looking at lots of pictures of Rattigan from Great Mouse Detective. Just looking at pictures, nothing strange. You haven't been bringing mice into our home, have you? I say, you haven't been bringing mice into our home, have you? Alright, keep your secrets. In the meantime, enjoy your discussion of Jude, the Obscure Parts 3 and 4. They're simply bummers. The whole book is kind of bummer central, bummer city. There are sound alerts. I said this last week and nobody used them, so... But there are sound alerts that you can use throughout the show. Please, try. One of you should try the sound alerts. If you don't see the sound alerts, let somebody know. For fuck's sake.
Walking on by. Sometimes the British, they pull a rabbit out of their hat.
I agree. In fact, that actually brings me... Can I start my thing really quick and then we
You
get
want
into
to do this at the top?
Just right out the gate?
At
Can
the
I knock
top?
it off?
You want to do this?
Yeah.
Is it because the viewership is low and you
I think this is probably the best time to do it, to wait for everyone to sort of load in.
All right. Chris, here, just for context, everybody. First of all, this is Chris Tcholakian. He's the guest on the show this evening. Chris texted me, I'm running 5 minutes late. I had to write a rap.
Yes. Well, I agree that the British sometimes cook. MF Doom is technically British, though he was raised in New York. Do you know MF Doom?
Yes, I'm aware of MF.
You're familiar with his work a little bit?
I am.
I've been listening to him a lot lately.
Okay.
And I love it. Particularly, he does all these different, he does different personas and stuff, and he was in the group before with his brother, and I find that particularly pre-2004, pre the Food album, his sensibilities are he really loves three things. He loves militant black nationalism informed by the Nation of Islam and the Five Percenters.
Comic books,
and Saturday Night Live. These are the three things he loves the most, particularly in his early work. So this, to me, this is MF.
Only one of those things is cool on its face. And I think we can all guess which one.
Mm-hmm. So this is
Saturday Night Live.
This is MF Doom lyrics. Only Yakub can make me stop smoking this dro. My rhyme's so silly it's like I'm Joe Piscopo. Like Green Lantern, I descended from an asteroid. Every day I'm inspired by the work of Dan Aykroyd. Harley Quinn, Colin Quinn, their race of sin. Riding the mobile like a bat. Ops don't get me like I'm Pat. That was MF Doom.
Ops don't get me like I'm Pat. That should be like at the base of 30 Rockefeller Center, just like inscribed at the foot of the Atlas statue.
And if anyone, even one person in the chat listens to MF Doom, that was all worth it.
Everybody out there is listening to MF Doom, right? Am I crazy? Surely. Let's see who's here. For those unaware, we figured out how to do the grades in such a way that doesn't make me freak out. It's a lot easier to add this information now. It's been streamlined. But let's take roll. If you're here, please type here or present. Again, if you'd like to participate in the show, there are a number of ways that you can do that. Let me get the overlay up. I did not change the essay topic. So if anyone wants to suggest an essay topic that's distinct from the one that I have up here, actually, let's change it right now. If you'd like to submit an essay response to the prompt today, you can either subscribe or gift a subscription at Red Table Talk to submit it, and we'll take a look, and it will help to enhance your grade over the course of the show. Chris and I, my guest lecturer today, will be helping to grade these essays.
That's right.
You're a very discerning reader, right, Chris?
I'm a very discerning reader, and I also take things very personally, and I will let my personal feelings about the person affect the grade.
Let's get into it. We're going to talk Jude the Obscure parts 3 and 4. Chris, did you do the reading?
Nope.
Did you do parts 1 and 2?
No, in fact, I was watching Alex on the stream, and as soon as you guys started talking about the book, I should log off so I can go in as doe-eyed as possible.
So here's the contents of the presentation today. We're going to follow up on who is Eric.
Okay.
Do you know about this?
No.
We'll follow up on who is Eric. Then we're going to enter what's called the Context Corner. It's a new segment where we go into context about the book.
Okay.
We'll have our first multiple choice question of the night.
Great.
We're going to play a game that's for you, Chris.
Okay.
It's called What's Jude's Tude?
Let's go.
We'll get into the rules of that shortly, and then we'll talk about the summary of the book and a couple more options, or rather opportunities for grades.
Perfect.
Afterward. So, the continuation of our earlier segment.
Who's Eric?
Who is Eric? Update.
Okay.
This copy of Jude the Obscure, which was thrifted in either Camarillo or Los Angeles, I cannot recall, but it was inscribed on the title page, and don't read the last name, by a fellow named Eric. There's some flight information there. And
whoa, the flight information is so fascinating.
Right? Well, last week, we voted on which of a various number of Erics I would contact via DM to see if I had their copy of the book.
Okay.
We voted, and I'm pleased to say that in reaching out to the winner of this poll, we found him.
We found him?
We found Eric.
And can I ask why we're not talking about the last name?
Just for their privacy.
Of course.
Just for their privacy.
Just to not sort of dox them.
Just to not dox them. We found Eric.
What the hell?
Now, here's the caveat, and this could be perceived as anticlimactic. There's more to come about the Eric find, but just everybody
we have to make sure he's not
know.
Racist first before
That's
we start.
Don't joke about that. I sent him the link to this show. It's not. Eric is a lovely man. If Eric is watching right now, I am so pleased that we were able to connect with Eric. He is unimpeachable in my eyes and a fascinating
no problem.
man.
Once we clear him, he'll be.
Once we clear him, no, he's already cleared as far as I'm concerned. But there's a world where we may be able to hear from Eric in a more involved capacity, depending on follow-up. And now we're in Context Corner.
It's kind of lovely to be like, the way these things all sort of blend together, of the passage of time and then the way the literature unites us all, both in a sense
I can't hear you.
Both in a sense of the education.
The music from this portion of the show, the theme music from this portion of the show is playing, and I can't hear you.
Okay.
I'm not sure how loud it is for the audience, but it's very loud for me. Welcome to Context Corner.
I can't hear a single thing.
So, we're in Context Corner, and today we're going to be someone saying it's quiet. We can't really hear the music. It's extremely low.
I didn't hear anything at all.
So you just heard me shouting? Well, I know you didn't hear anything, but okay, but you could hear it kind of. Was it just a little bit? Could you? No music? Also, welcome Rage A1. I'm feeling Rage A1. A1 Rage.
Feeling some A1 rage.
This is classic teacher tech stuff. Thought it was a bit, heard nothing. No one heard anything? Okay, imagine in your mind's eye a very enthusiastic theme song from like a 70s game show, okay? That's what you would have heard if my tech didn't fuck me. Apologies. And it was not dubstep, RC James. Reduce RC James is great.
Absolutely. You got it.
Even though they rated and they're great.
They're actually not even
now
on
I'm
here.
second guessing lowering the grade.
They're not even on
They're
here.
not even on there?
They're not even on here.
Okay, well, you dodged a bullet this time, Artsy James. So we're going to talk about Wessex. This novel takes place in a portion of Britain which Hardy calls Wessex. Get this. Thomas Hardy? There's a fucking Thomas Hardy cinematic universe.
What the hell?
Yeah, there's a fucking Thomas Hardy cinematic universe.
A merely realistic dream country? So he's doing like his own like Lubitsch world?
Sure, absolutely.
Whoa.
Or like a Pynchon writing about Southern California and naming it Gordita Beach, even though it's like clearly Redondo or whatever it's supposed to be, right? So Wessex. There is a Thomas Hardy cinematic universe, the THCU, as academics call it. It is an academic term that they use. Thomas Hardy writes about this place, Wessex. It's fictional, but not exactly. Fictional with an asterisk.
Because it's like Essex.
Not quite. Not quite. In point of fact, the name is derived from the kingdom of the West Saxons, which occupied a lot of British land in South Britain, the southern portion, for like about 400 years, from roughly the year 500 to the year 900.
Is that real?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's derived from that name because the kingdom of the West Saxons was abbreviated to Wessex. So Hardy uses that name to refer to this portion of the area. After a few Hardy Wessex novels where he is creating this region, generating names of fictional townships, some of these books that he's publishing do very well. And suddenly he's kind of trapped in Wessex. Every novel that he writes from then on has to be a Wessex novel where it's taking place in similar locations. Oh, we have not added Theodinus. Sorry. Yes, we should add Theodinus.
Okay, here we go. This is it.
You're doing awesome. You're doing awesome.
Theodinus.
So again, money is sort of compelling him to keep coming back. Not in a way that's not terribly dissimilar to
To freaking life.
to freaking life, right? In the creative world, if you have a hit, you're compelled to return to the well, as
I'd say
it were.
so.
And this is something that has been duplicated by so many authors. William Faulkner wrote about a fictional county called Yoknapataufa that is a stand-in for a portion of Mississippi that also has points of comparison where you can compare certain cities in Yoknapataufa to real cities in Mississippi. Thomas Pynchon, I mentioned him earlier, similar situation with him.
Gotta think Dr. Seuss is all kind of the same area.
Sure, Dr. Seuss as well. Whoville.
Whoville, like that's probably all around there.
Right. So, just for context, right, we've been reading about a number of cities in Wessex that also make appearances in other Hardy novels, but just to give you the analogous city so that there's some context here. Christminster, right, where Jude wants to go to learn, that's Oxford.
Okay.
It's many of the places, the physical descriptions that the book offers about the buildings and the universities there. It's a direct one-to-one model of Oxford, and he's changed the name for the purposes of just sort of being able to dodge maybe some of the harsher remonstrances that would be offered up if he were to straight up say that Oxford is an unfriendly place to people who want to rise in the ranks. Melchester.
Melchester.
Right? Where
and that's not Manchester.
No. So Melchester is where
Crazy to me.
the first part that we're going to be talking about tonight, part 3 of the book takes place in Melchester, and that is Salisbury, where with the famous cathedral, the Salisbury Cathedral.
And the steak.
And the Salisbury steak. No allusion to steak made in this portion of the book, shockingly. There's no Melchester steak. Doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah.
Probably. And lastly, there's Shaston.
Melchester mutton, Melchester meal.
Yes, indeed. And lastly, there's Shaston, which is where the 4th part of the book, part 4, takes place. It's famous, and it's described, the opening of this section, they describe the physical characteristics of the space. And I would like to call your attention to it.
Is there a color system for these sticky notes, or just
yes.
Really?
Blue is about Jude, red is about Sue, orange is about marriage, yellow is about the general themes of the book, green is prose that I liked. So there's a description of Shaston.
Smart as hell.
I wouldn't say that. The natural picturesqueness and singularity of the town still remain, but strange to say these qualities, which were noted by many writers in ages when scenic beauty is said to have been unappreciated, are passed over, and this, and one of the queerest and quaintest spots in England, stands virtually unvisited today. And there's no train because it's set on this incredibly steep hill that allows them to see far off into the distance of this, I think it's called Blackmore Vale. Yeah, the Vale of Blackmore. You can see far off into this vale. It's a huge hilltop town.
So it's like where the Grinch lives.
It's like where the Grinch lives, but moreover, I'd like to call to everyone's attention. Now, if you're from the UK, if you've spent any time in Britain and you're over 40 or 50, you've probably seen this commercial. It's a Hovis advertisement. It's a type of bread they sell over there. This commercial was directed by Ridley Scott.
What the heck?
And it is a not world famous. It's like when you go to this YouTube video, it's got like 2 million views, and every comment is like, they don't make bread like they used to. They don't make commercials of bread like they used to. You know, it's like imagine like the Folgers commercial. You know what I mean, with the cousins, or with the brother and sister that are like horny for each other. You know, all the comments.
But everyone likes it.
But this is like, everybody finds this very charming. So
let's see it.
Last stop on round would be old Ma Peggotty's place. 'Twas like taking bread to the top of the world. 'Twas a grand ride back though. I knew baker at half kettle on, and doorsteps of hot always ready. There's wheat germ in that loaf, he'd say. Get it inside you, boy, and you'll be going up that hill as fast as you come down.
Though this still has many times more wheat germ than ordinary bread. It's as good for you today as it's...
Bread?
That was the state of the commercial industry, where it's like, there's more germs in this one. There's more germs.
How do you make it out of
Directed
England?
by Ridley Scott, must be emphasized. And that is where part 4 of the book takes place. That stretch of buildings you see there, almost unchanged from when this commercial was shot, or rather to when this commercial was shot, from the period where the book takes place. So that you're seeing a lot of the same architecture that would have been seen by Jude and Sue in this portion of the book.
Jude and Sued.
So so like I said, there's the Thomas Hardy Cinematic Universe. So it's just like, imagine that I had the time and the inclination to make one of those memes of the Avengers assembling from the portals.
But it's all
Thomas Hardy. Like the mayor of Casterbridge, right. Tessa the D'Urbervilles is Black Panther.
Okay, so you did do it.
Well, no, but I didn't do the full video. It's just like, imagine if I actually took the time to like do motion tracking for the character. I didn't do that, but just imagine if I did. This would be really funny. And who's Thanos? Baseline levels of serotonin.
Okay.
All of the various Thomas Hardy characters are arrayed and arriving to kill any happiness that may have been present before the book's arrival. So just imagine, I'm laughing. Right. Thank you, BotPup QT. Thank you. Really good. Thanks, everybody. Again, imagine if I actually took the time to make it look good.
I mean, that's most of the work.
So we have our first multiple choice question. Let's see how everybody does. Question number 1. Fran Lebowitz, pillar of New York cultural life and generational wit, is trying to buy groceries from her local bodega. They don't take Apple Pay, apparently. Martin Scorsese isn't around to use his Amex, so Fran starts to look around for someone to spot her. You happen to be behind her in line. What do you do?
Something that could happen to me in my life.
Option A, you spot Fran. Option B, you spot Fran and politely express to the bodega owner that it's high time they adopt a very convenient and increasingly popular method of payment. Everybody's doing Apple Pay.
Now, I have an issue with sort of the premise of this question.
Sure.
Which is that Fran Lebowitz is going to not have cash on her and know how to use Apple Pay.
Now, this is really interesting. Extra credit for anybody who points that out. See, bug with a gat. Fran using Apple Pay. Anybody who is pointing out the fact that Fran Lebowitz would never have a fucking cell phone with her, period.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a cell phone. In fact, there's a great quote. I don't have a cell phone. Yours will do.
That's
if I ever
good.
need to call an Uber, I'll borrow your phone. Everybody's got a phone.
That's really good. God, I wish that was me.
So again, let's just imagine for a moment that
I'll
Fran...
put myself there.
Everybody put yourself there, right? Option C, you spot Fran and use it as an opportunity to ask for her take on New York City alfresco dining.
I don't...
Because I want to know.
I mean, you can assume.
You can assume certain things.
I think you could assume the entire thing.
At the same time, many a long-form interview with Fran has taken place at a sidewalk cafe.
And she's probably curmudgeon-y about it the whole time. In fact, she probably launches in. She goes, oh, I hate these things. You know, people make me do goddamn interviews at these things now, and I'm trying to talk about something, and then these freaking cabs are honking behind me, and I got to deal with this the whole time. It's absolutely ridiculous what they're doing with these. And now they're just bikes are running into them all day because that's where the bike lanes used to be. But God forbid anyone in this city gets to get some exercise.
It's like she's fucking here, folks. It's like she's fucking here. You were channeling some shit just then.
Yeah,
That's really good. Option D, you spot Fran but accidentally leave a very noticeable item that you intended to purchase, something Fran would never buy, like Snickers, inside Fran's bag so that you have an excuse to contact her literary agent after the fact, initiating a lifelong pen pal dialogue that both of you recall fondly on your respective deathbeds.
Mm-hmm.
And let's get the poll up.
I'm just going A. For me, this is an A.
You're going A?
Like, I know it's sort of the least climactic answer, but for me, it's the most logical one.
Uh-huh. Sure.
I give it and I go, how about it, Fran? New York City. Only here.
Greatest city in the world.
Greatest city in the world. 9/11 can't stop us. I'm saying that to her in the line. One of my favorite things during the
Is that just sort of like in New York, you pass by somebody, you say hello, how's your day? 9/11 won't stop us.
9/11 didn't stop us. Get to work. 9/11 can't stop us.
Keep it pushing.
Yeah,
keep it
that's
pushing.
What we're saying. We're saying we're on the train. It's you better show up to work today, otherwise they win.
Yeah.
One of my favorite pieces of content from during the Zoran hysteria, where I believe it was the general election day, is one of these like sort of anti-Zoran influencers, bald guy, sort of crazy vibes. He just opens the video, it's on him, and he goes, New York City, home of 9/11, what's up, everybody? And then he starts sort of begging you not to vote for Zoran.
I don't know if they want that to be their reputation forever.
New York City, home of 9/11. So funny.
All right, D. And wouldn't you know it, that's the correct answer. So everybody gets
I guess it's like
point.
I don't have a manuscript.
Right, well, I mean, you are receiving a grade, so you should probably just keep that in mind that you got that wrong.
I got that wrong. Oh, right, because, okay, wait.
You chose option A.
Which one is this?
So this is that one, under multiple choice. And
how do I see who got it right?
well, so what we're going to do is, like, if everybody gets it right, everybody gets a point.
Oh,
if everybody
okay.
gets it wrong, everybody loses a point. And at the end, once we've done all three multiple choice,
how do you get it wrong?
Well, you get it wrong by getting it wrong. Like
well,
if everybody voted D,
I can get it wrong.
Because you're answering for yourself, and everybody in chat is voting as a block,
right?
As a democratic block.
So only I can get it wrong.
So if the correct answer, yes. Well, no, that's not true. That's not true.
Okay.
If everybody had voted C, and the correct answer was D, then they'd be wrong.
Oh, there is a correct answer.
There is a correct answer.
Okay. So everyone but me gets points.
Yes.
I'm going to flip it. Let's go to the next one.
What do you mean flip it?
I'm going to just whip that one around. So let's go on to the next one.
And what do you mean by flip it around?
Yeah, I'm just going to...
It's a very nonchalant presentation of...
I'm just going to sort of like take that and be like...
Everybody else...
Reverse it.
Oh, okay.
Flip it and reverse it. Like that song.
Like that song.
So everyone gets 1 point except I go reverse style.
I guess.
And I don't give them points if they weren't here.
I guess this is just like my fault for empowering you to be a thoughtful TA.
And I don't give them points if they're not here, right? If they didn't check
that's
in.
right. Yeah, if they didn't check in, then they do not get points.
Okay.
And we'll check in on grades at the halfway mark of the show, folks. Oh, it's so loud. Can anybody hear it? Can everybody hear this one?
Actually,
this one's called What's Jude. Okay, it's loud. Yeah, this one's loud. Okay, all right.
Last night ending the show, I had the call center like visual thing come up, and I had it be the stream of the show. And then I hit the end, and so the end thing played like a looping infinite number of times. And it was so loud and scary, and like I couldn't turn it off for like 10 seconds, and everyone in the chat
the audio had it as an audio source as well, right?
Okay. So everyone in the chat after was just like, my cat just pissed, like my neighbor freaked out, like what the hell was that? It was really loud.
I'm looking forward to all the ways that I will manage to fuck up OBS, seeing as it is a whole new port in the storm for me.
You're on OBS?
Yeah.
I'm learning how to edit right now.
What's your software of choice?
Da Vinci, because it's free.
Da Vinci. It is free. I am overwhelmed every time I open it. I feel
that
I'm
too.
wedded to Premiere, unfortunately, because I learned on Final Cut, and
I used to know how Final Cut worked.
It's because now it's different. Final Cut X sucks. It's like
I had Final Cut 7.
Windows Movie Maker.
Oh wait, so that's it for that multiple choice. I now just fill out the scores.
Well, so we're gonna hold on for that. So let's keep in mind everybody got that first one right.
Okay.
No matter what little trick you have.
Yeah, for sure.
So as we do the next 2 multiple choice questions, we'll add their scores up at the end, and that will inform.
Okay, and then again, it's 3 that has to translate to 5 somehow. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Any questions?
Okay, David Pumpkins.
All right. So this is a segment called "What is Jude's Tude?" Now, Chris has not read the book. All of you out there, I suspect, I hope, many of you have read the book. You're up to speed on the reading for the week. You've read parts 3 and 4. If not, we'll go over a summary. But my hope is that you've read the book. 50-50. No comment. Not promising. Bop Up QT has not read anything. Thank you for joining anyway.
Points
Caesar DeSalad sent a sad emote of Harold Bloom. People are auditing the class. Boy, consistently Doug's. I can't read. I mean, there are people who are reading the book. I know it. I believe it. In my heart of hearts, I believe that there are people.
We've yet to have a single person say, "I did do the reading."
Creative Steve is nearing toward part 3 now.
Okay.
Blues Traveler NFT
finished it last night. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I read it. Okay, we've got a few.
Yeah. See, we're good. We're in the clear. But so this is principally for you, but everybody else can participate. Okay, so this is what is Jude's Tude. Based on what I've described about Jude, you need to try to guess what his response is in the book.
Got it.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Based on the scenario that I'm going to give to you, which is from the book. Okay? So in this scenario, Jude's cousin Sue has escaped from a deeply cloistered school for young women and arrives at his doorstep, soaking wet from her escape. She went through a river.
Okay.
She changes into some of Jude's clothes and tries to warm herself in his quarters. What's Jude's Tude?
This is a beautiful romantic moment between two people.
Option A. She's going to get my shit wrinkled. She's going to wrinkle my shit. I'm so pissed.
Okay.
Damn, she looks like me on Sunday, LOL.
Okay.
If she falls asleep in that chair, her neck is going to get all fucked up. It's this kind of fear that makes it impossible for me to take red-eye flights. I refuse to buy a travel pillow. They're overpriced and tacky.
I don't think they had red-eye flights quite yet.
So you can almost kind of eliminate option C in a way.
Maybe.
Option D. Now that a lady is over, there's no way I can watch this video essay about Resident Evil 7.
Resident Evil 7 came out in I want to say it was 1880s, which I think is before he's aged into that part of his life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, taking the two here, I'm looking at he's either pissed or he's horny. That's kind of, I think, the two trajectories you should take.
Uh-huh.
Now, if this is me and we're eliminating the cousin element of it, but if the girl I think's beautiful, so pretty, if she shows up, hey, I just left my sort of confines and now I'm at your doorstep and I'm all soaking wet and sort of in a beautiful way. I feel like I would respond to that by being, it's just kind of a movie right now. We're sort of in a movie.
I will say these answers here, the correct answer is not the only thing that he thinks or feels.
Okay.
But it's one of the chief reactions. In fact, his first reaction upon seeing this.
Damn, she looks like me on Sunday, lol. What would that even mean? Because he goes to church? He doesn't go to...
Maybe she's wearing an outfit that he would wear on Sundays. Because that just happens to be what's available. And that he's not actively wearing.
Oh, so he's like, I'm going to give her my shit. Damn, she looked like me wearing that shit. And then he's like looking at it and being like, am I into me? And he's like looking at his cousin wearing his clothes and he's like, does this mean I'm like into myself?
Am I beautiful?
Yeah.
Wait, am I so beautiful? He starts looking at himself in the mirror.
Yeah. He's like, whoa, am I into this?
I don't need God anymore.
I'm gonna lock in number 1. I think he's kind of being a stinker.
Okay. False.
It's 2?
Yeah. And the crowd out there the students got it right.
What sucks is like we talked through it. Like we talked through why.
And you knew what, like you articulated exactly why it would be that. And then you chose poorly. Last Crusade, Indiana Jones. You chose poorly.
Haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Last Crusade?
No, I think I have.
You've seen Last Crusade. Okay, what is Jude's Tude? I almost forgot the title of the.
What is Jude's Tude?
What is Jude's Tude? Number 2. Jude's childhood hero, the guy who instigated the defining professional desires of Jude's life thus far, corners him at work and asks, politely for what it's worth, if the rumors about Jude and his bride-to-be are true. What's Jude's Tude? I'm going to do the monologue from the courtroom scene in Scent of a Woman. It makes no sense in this context, but it was impassioned in a way that feels appropriate.
Al Pacino.
When I had legs, when I could see, I had taken a flamethrower to this place, you know?
Stole Robert Downey Jr.'s Oscar.
Option B. Rumors ain't true, but they're saying I should marry your fiance just to smooth things over. I wish I could marry your fiance, that is. I mean, you know, normal style for her, my cousin. It would be for her. I would, if I, you know, they're saying that I should do it, and it would be, I wish I could.
It's being like, well, it's not true, but
they're saying I should marry her.
Everyone's saying I should, and it's just like, obviously we can't, but that's what everyone wants. And I wish I could make people happy.
It's for her ultimately.
Yeah.
It's just more to sort of spare her the embarrassment of, you know, what's happened.
Right.
Okay.
What happened?
So canonically, Falotzin is older than them. He's like in his 40s. So he would. Oh my God, Fred Willard would crush a Falotzin, like doing a really bad British accent
hey,
too.
Jude, what happened?
What happened? Really good, really, really good. Option D. I'm just gonna put my work chisel under my nose and pretend it's a mustache, and then I'm a different guy named Jules Darko. Changes his first name and then gives himself the last name of his favorite movie. I do feel like Jude would connect with
Donnie Darko.
Right?
I don't think they have. Okay. I'm going to really try to get this right.
Yeah. And I think you should, because that's kind of the conceit of the game, is you trying your best. Instead of giving me a fucking joke answer. Like I'm a joke to you.
Yeah, no, you're not a joke to me. These questions are completely serious, and all of the options are valid. For instance, Scent of a Woman came out in 1850. Human Resources was ubiquitous in Victorian England. And Donnie Darko is every British man's favorite movie. But despite all that, I'm going to go B.
You're going to go B? Okay, and that's interesting. And it seems like everybody kind of agrees. And when you know it, that's correct.
There we go. All right, I'm back.
You're back in the game.
I got my sea legs now.
You're back in the game. My fiance's in chat saying that the font is so small.
Okay.
But also the Wi-Fi is bad.
Okay.
And that's tricky.
I don't even see how they're related.
Well, because she's only getting 360p.
Oh, so you're saying the font's small, but it's also I know that your computer is bad. Look at this. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Kind of an issue with the crop. We can kind of see your arm. Not the most professional setup.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that.
What's Jude's Tude number 3? Jude realizes he's brought a newly freed Sue to the same inn where he'd brought his wife, Arabella.
Ooh, awkward.
For a final tryst some months prior.
Oof.
He's called out on this.
You ever do this? Bring a date to the Dresden and then remember a previous date you had at the Dresden?
I have not personally done that.
Bummer.
But I wonder if someone in this room has. It's possible. What is Jude's excuse, right, upon finding this out? Genuinely forgot. Sorry. B. In fairness to me, it was really out of pocket for the...
Sorry, it's so funny.
In fairness to me, it was really out of pocket for the waiting maid to volunteer that information. At most inns, it is considered bad form to acknowledge seeming improprieties of guests who used the property for dalliances. Managers might yell at someone for doing that, even accidentally.
Sorry, the missing context here. So someone revealed
They
Sue.
arrive at the inn, and when we go over the plot summary, all this will click.
Mm-hmm.
They arrive at the inn. Sue has just left an entanglement.
Okay.
Jude also is on the tail end of an entanglement.
Yes.
They arrive at the inn. They're in separate quarters. One of the people working there approaches Sue and says, I saw the guy that you're with here a couple months back with another woman.
Hell?
And let's just say, hypothetically, that someone who works at a lodging location.
I'm thinking like you were going,
Sure,
like,
let's
that's
just
the
say,
craziest thing ever.
Well, but let's just say, for example, that you're working at a place of lodging.
Right. Let's say
Nondescript. Let's say you're working at
this is me.
Yes. Let's say you're working in a
I'm
place where people can
hypothetically
rent
working
rooms.
at a lodging of some sort.
And let's say there's a place where people can rent rooms.
Okay, so I'm there.
And someone comes in
Okay.
that you see once a week.
Okay.
And you go, welcome back. And they're with someone that you haven't necessarily seen them with before.
Okay.
And then let's say that like a couple days later, you get talked to by management to the effect of, sometimes it's best to just say hi, as if you don't recognize the person.
Sometime someone's just there to
Sometimes
cheat
someone's
on
just
their
there to
wife.
cheat, right, and sometimes then they go to the same place with
Their wife.
Sure. And then
Okay.
it's sort of like, what do you mean, welcome back?
I've never been here.
This is a
before.
hotel where we live. This is in town. This is 4 blocks from where we live. What do you mean, welcome back? Anyway,
One time when the house burned down and I was staying at the scary Holiday Inn in MacArthur Park, this guy was like, the 4 of us want one room. And the lady was like, I'm assuming for one night. And the guy started yelling at her. It was like, what do you mean you're assuming for one night? But it was for one night.
not only one night, but we have the term that is used in the trade is 1 hour guy.
A 1 hour guy.
We got a 1 hour guy.
You're allowed to rent a hotel room for 1 hour?
Well, it's not really at the foreground of the discussion, but you can certainly pay for the night.
Oh, okay.
And you can pay for the night.
Okay.
I've
It's
worked-
not
I've-
someone
I've-
being like, hey,
I've
can I
worked-
give you $30?
I've worked places where there's an hourly rate.
Wow.
Sure.
Okay.
It's under the table. It's not advertised, but
Okay.
yes. What's Jude's to number 3? Guess this is just where I bring anybody when I'm horny as hell and feeling reckless.
I mean, that's what I should have said at Dresden.
At Dresden? Would that have worked?
And you know what? It was a totally internal predicament I was having,
I
but
see. Option D. I'm absolutely certain I fucked my wife for the last time at a Holiday Inn Express 4 miles down the road. Their continental breakfast was primo shit.
you know what? You did a better job on this one, giving me enough that I don't actually have one I'm feeling really good about.
And what you just said implies that I didn't do a good job with the last few questions, which is
The last one, I think especially,
I did a poor job with the last one?
just in terms of you kept referencing things that don't exist from that era, which makes it sort of easy to eliminate.
Well, let's just say hypothetically, right, just for the purposes of this experiment, that like some of these modern references are stand-ins for maybe something that he could have said.
That's good
Sure.
to know. Yeah. Because if you had said, now, because
I mean,
like
that's
on
not,
that,
I mean, that wasn't my intention, but let's just for the sake of
Yeah, 'cause then on that,
making
it's like-
it marginally less pedantic.
Holiday Inn Express 4 miles continental
Right.
breakfast, like he could have just been saying there was
Sure.
the local inn and they were serving gruel or whatever.
Sure, absolutely.
Guess this is just where I bring anybody when I'm horny as hell and feeling reckless. I don't think Jude fucks.
Think again, buddy.
Like, just he's a man about town. He's a vagabond lover.
Not like that, no.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't think
Sure.
he's like, oh yeah, just another girl in here.
Yeah, no, he's not like that.
Genuinely forgot. Sorry. That's probably exactly what I'm saying verbatim.
Okay.
In fairness to me, it was really out of pocket for waiting for. And then that is the good answer to
Sure.
have.
Sure.
B is what you should say. A is what I would say.
Uh-huh.
C is what a cool guy might say. And D is what a gaslighter would say.
Sure.
I'm locking in A.
I have good news, everybody. It is A.
Great. And that, I don't like to hear that my sort of choices are the same as his, but that's okay.
I say this with all kindness and due respect. I do think you should read this book.
I don't like that. It scares me.
I mean, I'm not at all suggesting that it's like a 1-to-1, but I
Yeah.
do think that there are certain things about his experience that, and maybe that'll be reflected in a multiple
Not to
choice
turn this
question.
into a Chad Havers, but something I'm trying to do is not introspect.
At all?
I'm trying to do less introspection.
And is that because there's a tendency on the part of the frequent introspector to be a bit of a navel gazer?
I think so. It's like you sort of get too introspective, and then it's like you're not even too introspective. Also implies you're like doing deep analysis of the self, and I don't think you are. You're just sort of circling a surface level analysis of yourself.
And that's
over
kind
and over
of why I stopped going to therapy, because I'm not a selfish asshole.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You just make other people deal with your neurosis.
So now we're getting into the summary of the book. We're going to talk through the book, and this is probably the most thoughtful section of the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
So my what I would encourage from you, Chris, is to keep an eye on the chat and see if there's anything that jumps out at you as particularly salient and interesting. Might be able to bring into the conversation. Then also, just if anything jumps out at you, you're like, wait, what? Excuse me? What happened? What happened?
What happened? I'm saying that.
Just start saying what happened, and we'll get into it. So part 3 opens with Jude resolving to enter the church.
Okay.
He says to himself, okay, there's just no way that I'm going to be able to make it into the world of academia. It is something I'd have to work for 10 or 15 years to be able to save up the money to sort of pay my way in. And I've been flatly denied. He sent a letter to a bunch of these people at the university, and one of them responded saying, don't quit your day job, basically. So he says to himself, this is my option. I can go into the church. And he thinks specifically that he only deserves to be like a curate in an obscure village. The word obscure.
That's where it comes from.
Well, perhaps.
And you're doing this.
And you're kind of you're doing the DiCaprio point. He sort of remains stagnant nonetheless. He goes to Melchester, where Sue happens to be attending a school. So you're sort of in the back of your head. And Jude knows this. Jude remarks as he's deciding to stay in Melchester. He's aware.
Hang on, Naked Comedy sort of. Let me just deal with this really quick.
Sure.
Less Naked Comedy saying less introspection is a longer way of saying Chris is fully UCB. Don't think pilled. Sorry, Naked Comedy, I can't hear you. I have my one ASCAT appearance in my ears, so I can't hear you right now. Sorry, Naked Comedy, I can't hear you. I have the sounds of my one having done ASCAT after 10 years of buying into the system in my ears. I can't hear you. Where were you saying?
So, and there's a multiple choice question that I really think is going to hit hard for you. Okay. That his excessive human interest in the new place, Melchester, was entirely of Sue's making, while at the same time Sue was to be regarded even less than formerly as proper to create it, had an ethical contradictoriness to which he was not blind. So he's aware, like, I'm going to this place. I know it's a bad idea, but I want to be there. Sue is going to what's called, this is the title of the school, the Melchester Normal School. Which begs the question, is that like a type of name that would have been bandied about for a school, or did Thomas Hardy just get tired?
Is it sort of one of these strange things of how language has changed over time, where like normal school meant school like if you didn't have a learning disability kind of thing? Like
it is an interesting question, but it's almost like they're preparing these, because it's just young women at this school. Mm-hmm. It almost feels like they're being prepared to fulfill the very rote minimal functions that were
it's like, this is how to be a normal woman.
Sure.
We're going to teach you how to cook and clean and stuff, because it's the 18 whatevers.
She writes to Jude to connect and reveals to him that she has promised to marry Phillotson. So she's gone to work for him. Jude was aware that they
read Bluebeard by Kurt Vonnegut?
No.
There's a lot of parallels here.
Is there really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he appreciated Hardy.
I think he probably does.
There's a lot that's very funny in Hardy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was what I was wondering. Is normal school a joke?
No.
Okay. It's not sort of a Pynchon-esque, like...
No.
Yeah, okay.
No. Although you'll notice that the names, it must be remarked upon. Jude, his last name is Fawley, spelled Fawley. But when you say it out loud, Fawley.
Oh, yeah.
Sue, her last name is Bridehead. A significant trial and travail that she encounters throughout the book is her difficulties with marriage conceptually.
Okay.
So there are many characters in the book that are named in such a way.
We should do a thing where it's like, what's your Pynchon, or not Pynchon, what's your Thomas Hardy name?
That would be fun. That would be a fun game.
Like
a sort of Thomas Pynchon name generator.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
but
Hardy
it's like
name
based
generator.
on whatever your shortcomings are or your things are.
Yeah.
Maybe that would make me sad.
Again, there's another bit later that I think might really
Okay,
make
perfect.
that sing. So Jude is naturally not not feeling awesome about that. But nonetheless, he sort of says, well, there's nothing that you could do that's better for you, because he doesn't want to couch or rather admit to the fact, cop to the fact that he would love to have married her. There's a lot of sexual tension between them. There's a lot of emotion that's being rendered in their meetings. It's very clear that they're interested in each other, but they have not yet, to this point, really made their desires very, very plain.
Wow.
Painfully plain. So,
just really quick aside, Chris Tcholakian already has a Hardy name. Yeah, it's because Tcholakian, because I'm always locked in.
Welcome to the show, Burke. Thank you for tuning in. You're a Carrie.
It's because I'm always locked in.
Someone wrote Jude the Armenian.
Nice.
Sue and Jude stay out late, and there's a terrific excerpt that, again, I would like to command to your attention. And this really speaks to the differences that the two characters have about specifically religion. The book, Chris, for what it's worth, very critical of marriage and religion as institutions, in addition to the class system.
Is it atheist?
Yes, Hardy himself was agnostic.
Okay.
And is writing from the perspective of someone deeply concerned with the manner in which religion and marriage kind of prescribe to people their fate in a way that is very,
destiny
at the
sort
time,
of predetermined by social norms
Exactly.
rather than individual wants. Is he sort of an individualist? Is he very much into the journey of the self as opposed to the journey of the collective?
So a way that you could view Jude the Obscure is it's about a character that is a romantic character, of the era, romanticism.
Yes.
He's a believer, at least initially, nominally, in this notion that you can lead a rich, fulfilling life by being in deeper congress with the world and some higher enlightenment. And he is put through the thresher of a very realist novel. That's the nature of the book.
Oh, that's really cool. Hearing that, I'm into that. So it's almost like
it's a deeply pessimistic novel.
But it's almost like how Buster Keaton movies work, where you get this sort of bright-eyed idealist trope guy, and then modernity sort of shuts him down.
Absolutely.
Tati-esque as well.
Absolutely. There are, again, he gets hit in the inciting incident of one of the romantic
exactly
entanglements.
Like the only screenplay I've ever written? The
Not
detective
quite.
one?
Not quite.
But it's kind of okay.
Wait,
we'll
no,
get into it.
yeah, sure.
Is it because it's like he's anachronistic trying to
with
exist?
The caveat, but with the caveat that in your script, part of what is so difficult for that character is that he's yearning for a role that is truly antiquated.
Yes.
And what Jude is yearning for is a role that very much exists, and in fact is the only means of attaining a level of social capital.
Okay.
But because of his, the class that he's born into, it is completely removed from his
that's fascinating.
realm of possibility.
That's a bummer. That's a huge bummer.
But there's a secret. So Sue, interestingly, crucially, is given Hardy's agnosticism. She is an avowed agnostic in a way that is very radical for the time. This book was perceived as a very radical book. And at one point, when they're getting home late, they're out looking at a number of devotional pictures at a picture gallery. Mm-hmm. And Jude is, this is the excerpt here. Sue paused patiently beside him and stole critical looks into his face as, regarding the virgins, holy families, and saints, it grew reverent and abstracted. When she had thoroughly estimated him at this, she would move on and wait for him before Lely or Reynolds. It was evident that her cousin deeply interested her as one might be interested in a man puzzling out his way along a labyrinth from which one had oneself escaped. So she's watching him have this reverence for these religious icons, these religious figures, while she herself is just sort of ambivalent, and also just sort of, I think, feels perhaps a sadness at the fact that he's still sort of entrapped in that world.
And do you think this is, I'm sure it's the book is talking about this, that Jude is just sort of taking his yearning for an authority figure to enclose him, sort of, and make him feel desired, and he's bringing that to the church, where you have authority figures in these sort of the people he's looking to.
Or even just, this is one of the aspects of his training to become an academic. He's read the Latin and Greek translations of the Bible and is very up to speed on sort of, various religious texts, even outside the Bible.
Okay.
And so I think he feels like this could just be, directly translated to.
Man, I wish I could read good.
Life. Tywin cheered 100 bits. Thank you, Tywin. We're in the middle of an ad, so let's see if there's something we can do to kind of.
I assume most of the people watching are subbed.
A good number. Let me just take a look at one thing and see how long the ad break is. Or is just the ad starting soon? It should be running.
Sometimes it does this. Try refreshing that window.
This whole window?
Yeah, just hit refresh up
and
there.
It'll tell me that the ad is running?
Hopefully.
Ad starting soon. Interesting. Well, we'll just keep talking.
Yeah.
So Sue stays out late and gets in trouble at the Melchester Normal School, and is put in like solitary confinement for a week. But during the course of this confinement, she escapes, runs through a river, and that's where she arrives at Jude's doorstep, all wet. This is where Chapter 4 happens. In Chapter 4, there is so much to unpack about Chapter 4. This is where
Part 4.
This is Chapter 4 of Part 3.
Okay.
This is, I think, one of the richest sections of the book in terms of what it has to say, not only about Sue as a character, but about Hardy's worldview as it pertains to marriage and women's role in marriage. So this is the sort of the afterglow of Sue arriving at Jude's place, having left the Melchester Normal School.
Okay.
And this is where we get some clarity as to her motivations, what she's like, what's on her mind. We learn a number of things. She is extremely well-read.
Okay.
More well-read than Jude by a significant margin. By Jude's own admission, he mentions this. She is in a very difficult spot. She wants to become even more learned. She wants to better herself intellectually. And she realizes that the only means of doing this is to travel in spheres that have, to this point in her world, been cordoned off and set aside for men exclusively. As a result, she has attempted to travel in the company of men, but she's aware of, and this is the reason that she's expelled from the school, because she's been out late with a man. She is aware that the impetus that's been placed upon her is to avoid the company of men, because there's something that is posed to women about the immutability of sex and the sort of the perils of being around men. And so she has told herself, if I can travel in the company of men and not express an interest in them, then we will be able to travel in the same sphere and I'll be able to learn. And she has this experience with an undergraduate at Christminster who she becomes a friend with. She moves to London with him. They learn a lot together. She ends up remixing the Bible. She cuts up a version of the Bible which reorders the Gospels in a way that feels more to her liking, and is learning all this great stuff. She has access to works which she wouldn't have otherwise. But then she realizes that this man has an ulterior motive and wants to be with her. She says she just wants it to be platonic, and they go their separate ways. You get the impression that she simultaneously wants to better herself, wants to be this intellectual person, but is aware of the fact that the second she tries to travel in the company of men, they are unwilling to recognize her humanity, and they immediately sequester her into the role of potential marriageable woman or romantic interest. She's having this issue with Jude. She's having this issue with Philotson, and it's making her indecisive and giving her, the tension of the character. Often scholars describe this, this sense that she is experiencing a great deal of cognitive dissonance. And early scholarship I think, is very dismissive of this and characterizes her as an indecisive, flighty character. Characters call her a flirt occasionally. But the difficulty for her is that, and you see this over the course of this section.
What else is she supposed to do?
What else is she supposed to do? Because the second that she starts to find herself in the company of these men, they are quick to turn her into property.
And then if she just immediately rebukes them, then she's, a B word and all those things.
Sure.
And she wants to stay in that area, that sort of class. So she sort of needs to play along a little bit without putting herself in danger. Yep.
It's a very delicate balancing act this character has to play. There's a section, and this is so incisive. She's writing to Jude after she tells him that she's going to be marrying Phlotsyn. She asks Jude to give her away because she's his oldest she's his oldest, or rather he is her oldest married relative. So she writes him a letter and she writes, "I hope you won't think it trouble to give her away. I have been looking at the marriage service in the prayer book, and it seems to me very humiliating that a giver away should be required at all. According to the ceremony as there printed, my bridegroom chooses me of his own will and pleasure, but I don't choose him. Somebody gives me to him like a she-ass or she-goat or any other domestic animal. Bless your exalted views of women, O churchmen." So she's being a little sarcastic.
She's being a little fuck you to the... Yeah.
And this is the kind of passage that would have...
Everyone's writing she-ass. I agree. I was also thinking she-ass.
But this is the kind of passage that put this book in hot water because it was so incendiary to write.
Wow, so
like
even
this.
to write something like your church doesn't seem to like women very much, people were like, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, later you'll see that so much of this is... So many of the characters who decide to reject sort of the prescribed course of events are punished.
A pretty good summary from Jamie there, I'd say.
Yeah.
Girl just wants to go to grad school and her hand is forced to marry an old guy and form an edging relationship with her cousin.
Yeah, and it's heartbreaking.
Really is.
It's really heartbreaking.
It's really sad. And Jude's too busy fucking reading books so his dad will like him or whatever.
And a perfect example of what this indecision looks like for Sue, they part ways and Sue says, "I'm about to be married. We can feel the tension here. You can't love me. You're not allowed to love me. Don't do it." Like the next day she sends a letter saying, "If you want to love me, you can." Because she knows that if she rejects me, I'm never going to talk to this guy again.
Exactly. It's like, I need them to exist in my life still, and so I make these little concessions.
And he'll never talk to me. So
really bumming me out. This is really making me extremely sad.
It's a very sad book, and this character, I think, at this point in the novel, becomes a way more interesting character than Jude by a mile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm already sort of like, Jude sucks. This guy should just get a job and shut up.
Exactly. So Phlotsyn, her fiance of sorts, is trying to investigate why he hasn't heard from her, and he finds out when he goes to Melchester that she has been expelled from the school, and is like, well, where is she? He goes to Jude's job and kind of confronts him, just sort of happens upon, sees him, and is like, are the rumors true? And he's very he plays it like a gentleman because he's aware that they're cousins. The rumor at the school is Sue said that she's been out with a cousin, but that's bullshit. It's just some guy. Phlotsyn knows that this is her cousin.
Okay.
So he's just like, I already know that you guys didn't do anything, but like, are the rumors true? And
they
Jude
did sort of
flatly
specifically say cousin, so I just wanted to run it by you because like,
yeah,
they mentioned cousin, and I was like, well, that's crazy because I know her cousin. So I was like, I'll just come clear it up with you.
So, but what happens is this kind of propels a lot of the plot points of the book at this point.
Sorry, it's just really quick.
Yeah.
18 whatever Columbo. What I don't understand, Jude, is that they're saying it's her cousin that she's been going around with, and I'm thinking the only cousin I know is you. Must be some misunderstanding you could clear up for me, that type of thing. You get it.
Just intermittently, just come in as 2026 Columbo. Don't like distinguish your voice too much. Just kind of like start doing one more thing. He said that you were holding hands outside the chapel. So Jude comes clean and admits to Sue for the first time, and a perfect example of Jude having a double standard. He comes clean to Sue and lets her know for the first time, I'm married. and this upsets her. She makes the case, well, this shouldn't make any difference because we shouldn't really be around each other anyway, frankly. And it shouldn't really work out.
Which
anyway.
I'd argue she's completely correct about, right? I mean,
yep. This is what she says to him. Their views of the relations of man and woman are limited, as is proved by their expelling me from the school. Their philosophy only recognizes relations based on animal desire. The wide field of strong attachment where desire plays at least only a secondary part is ignored by them. So, we shouldn't be together because nobody's going to understand a strictly platonic relationship between us in this setting.
Do you think Sue is DSA?
Probably, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Philotson expedites the marriage.
Oh, and I had another question, sort of just for where we are in the book at this time. Does it feel that Jude's desire for Sue is born of anything sort of genuine, or does it feel like another sort of just chasing kind of thing he's doing? Is he just like, wow, she's hot, I'm going to sort of get a girlfriend?
Well, I think it's open to debate. It's open to interpretation. I'd love to see what people think out there about this. My take is he has lighted upon the pursuit of her almost immediately upon arriving to Christminster in part 2. It's almost as if he's
relatable.
He's aware of the steep incline ahead of him if he's just have a single-minded pursuit of his future. And it's as if, not incorrectly, he views companionship with someone as a sound alternative. He's not necessarily prepared to admit that to himself, but he recognizes that, at least even there's a part of him that feels, also not for nothing, I think one of the key aspects of this book, as pointed to in other excerpts that we'll talk about, is this notion that ultimately Jude is also just horny. He was horny when he met with Arabella and married her. He was horny when he met with Sue. But, the animalistic, basic desires and drives of people at this time are circumvented and locked away, and the second you act upon those things, it completely upsets the proverbial apple cart, and so people are disinclined to pursue it. And there's a great quote from part 4 that Jamie pulled. The human was more powerful in him than the divine. That is a central tension of this book, is that, and Hardy doesn't necessarily feel that that's a bad thing. What he's the case that he's making is, no one should have to completely subdue an entirely natural instinct to, in this case,
be horny.
To be horny in order to, achieve something, in order to be someone, in order to, attain worldly knowledge. Sue asks Jude to give her away in that letter, and he agrees. Jude is incredibly depressed. He goes out to drink. He tells himself he won't, but he goes out to drink, and he runs into Arabella, who is back from Australia. She left town. After she realized that Jude wasn't really prepared to play ball, she leaves town. She comes back, and it's one of the funniest sections of the book, because Jude is depressed, he's a little tipsy, and basically there's a section where the language that's used... However, there was only one thing now to be done, and that was to play a straightforward part. The law being the law, I mean, we're married after all, and the woman being whom, and the woman between whom and himself, there was no more unity than between East and West being in the eye of the church, one person with him. So basically, he's like, we should probably fuck.
Yeah, of course.
We should,
have sex
we should
with
probably
each
fuck.
other.
And it's only, it's like, I'm just doing my job. We're just married. So they rekindle their affair, and it's never spelled out plainly, but it is described in very poetic language. It's described at one point as Jude was far from seeing or criticizing these things. They were hidden by an indescribable consciousness of Arabella's midnight contiguity, a sense of degradation at his revived experiences with her. So they go to this inn, which again is the inn where they later wind up. And afterwards, she admits that she was remarried in Australia. She got married out there illegally. And he finds out the next day and is like, well, why didn't you tell me? That's upsetting to me. This whole escapade takes place on his way to meet with Sue. And finally, the next day, they reconnect. And, oh man, this font is small.
Yeah, this one I can't read.
Yeah.
They meet at Mary Green.
So they were meeting
Alfredson
originally to
Station.
check in on Sue's sick aunt. They find out that...
Jude's sick aunt.
Or yeah, you're correct. Jude's
Sue's
sick
mom,
aunt.
probably.
No.
Okay, just different.
Yep. Yeah.
May have been an oopsie.
Sue admits on page 201 for the first time that the marriage might have been a mistake.
The marriage to, what's his name?
To Tcholakian.
Yeah.
She seems unhappy, and Jude presses her on it, and she says, or he asks, God, what, you don't like him? And she replies, I don't mean that, she said hastily. It's that I ought not to have married. And that's a big, This is great. There's an excerpt from Edward Gibbon's Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire on the consequences of suppression in Christian ascetics, Christian ascetics in chapter 10.
What's ascetics?
People who have foregone worldly impulses like sex, for example. And there's a section where it's written that Jude did not pause to remember that, in the laconic words of that historian Edward Gibbon, insulted nature sometimes vindicated her rights in such circumstances. Going back to sort of just like the base instincts driving these people. Eventually, even if you swear that you're going to pursue, some loftier ambition, eventually nature sometimes insists upon itself.
To quote Family Guy, it insists upon itself.
It insists upon itself. And then this is, again, another very funny part of the book. Jude is moved by the power of music. He is in despair over all that's transpired to this point. He goes to the church and hears a hymn that moves him to tears. And he goes and he looks up the guy who wrote the piece, just to thank him, just to sort of say, "Oh my God, you're incredible. That really moved me. That effect, that like really hit me really close to home." He finds the guy's house, knocks on his door. Guy answers, goes, "Oh, that old thing. They're not paying you any money to write those things. You know what I should have done is trademark that, because they're playing it in all the churches. I really should have trademarked that. Yeah, no money in writing hymns. I sell wine now." And he pulls out a catalog of all of the drinks that he now plans to sell.
Can I tell you what this reminds me of? I'm having some really unpleasant parallels here, and I believe if I read this book in 2022, I would have killed myself. But what this reminds me of is when I was very depressed after having sort of a relationship things go bad, and I was working at the Elysian Theater for my midnight shift, where I worked 3 hours a week, Saturday from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. I would often go to Astro Diner before my shift at the Elysian to just sort of have a meal and drink some coffee because I was going to be up late. And I'm there, I'm so depressed, I'm sitting there, hate everything about everything. And this beautiful song comes on at Astro. And I'm having this kind of like, really like, it's almost spiritual moment I'm feeling in this diner. And I'm like, really like, wow, this is kind of incredible. And I Shazam the song. And it was You Sexy Thing by Hot Chocolate. And then I was like, oh, I actually do know this song. And it's that stupid song, You Sexy Thing by Hot Chocolate. But if you actually give it another listen.
I'm just imagining you in a booth at Astro's, tears.
Yep. It's like
running down your
10:30 on a
cheek.
Saturday. And I'm like,
You've heard Hot Chocolate.
Yeah. And I'm like, maybe I should keep trying, Maybe I put the next foot in front of the other. That's my
really
inner...
It's a life-affirming song.
I mean,
let's not pretend
but
it's not
what
a
I'll say is
song.
like, that's my inner life. You know what I
Sure,
mean? Like that's
sure.
like you're reading that and I'm going like, I believe in miracles since you came along, you sexy thing. Whoa.
Touch me, babe.
Yeah, exactly.
You sexy thing, etc.
So,
well,
I'm very easy to sort of get out of a funk.
We have another multiple choice question here. Okay. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Question number 2. You watch a killer improv set after learning that your cousin is unhappily married. There's one guy who is doing such compelling support moves, it makes you cry. You knock on the door of his Silver Lake apartment, and he answers the door.
Sorry, I have to. Can I read this out loud so that I can sort of track this all?
Sure.
You watch a killer improv set after learning that your cousin is unhappily married. Okay, the cousin I'm into, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's one guy who is doing such compelling support moves, it makes you cry. Okay, of course. You knock on the door of his Silver Lake apartment, and he answers the door. Oh, that Harold, says Matt Besser, bleary-eyed. There's no money. Should I do the voice? There's no money in it, kid. The real money is in Taco Bell commercials. He shows you his commercial acting reel, and you notice in the background of his apartment a lot of furniture that doesn't look like indoor furniture. It looks like porch stuff. What do you do?
Option A. Listen to every podcast they've ever guested on and try to identify the exact month when they lost hope.
Okay.
Option B. Resolve to reread the collected works of Robert Browning, which would have been, I think, the choice of either Sue or Jude.
Okay.
Option C. All that talk about Taco Bell made you hungry. You head to your nearest Bell and use one of the fire tier rewards you unlocked on the app to order a cheesy bean and rice burrito. At 320 calories, it's $1 and pound bargain.
You can get a fire, but you don't eat meat. There's fire tier rewards you can get up to 600 calories out of, but you got to eat meat for those.
That's a good point. I'm trying the keto thing. So I'm kind of eating meat with greater frequency now.
You're trying keto?
I'm trying
thought keto was sort of done.
I don't know if it's done or not. There's still like so many things at the store have keto friendly.
What's
on the
keto
packaging.
again? It's like a lot of
so
fat.
you're just like cutting carbs.
You're
just
no carbs,
it's
all
a very
fat.
low carb diet. Yes.
I feel like that would agree with my. I'm having a thing where I just can't eat anything. What's the next question?
Option D. Your mind wanders and you start to wonder how quickly you'd get shot in the head by Beverly Hills PD if you knocked on Amy Poehler's door at 5 p.m.
Yeah. Well, I've been here.
Let's put the poll up.
So I talked to someone who I was amazed by their improv, and let's even just branch it out to their comedy. And I get close enough to them that I realize their inner life is tragedy. That the things I'm aspiring to that I feel will fix my own inner life, this person has achieved, and it has actually only heightened their own inner turmoil, thus suggesting I'm on a trajectory to only heighten my own inner turmoils as I pursue this craft rather than try to solve whatever's going on inside of me. And how do I respond to that? I go get Taco Bell.
It's been my go-to personally.
Yeah. I go get
Taco Bell. That's been
Bell.
Which doesn't necessarily mean that it's the correct answer, but certainly when I experience existential despair, the thought that someone who I admire a great deal is not necessarily on the come up, or is not necessarily a model for a life that will be led without financial precarity, or even
spiritual precarity,
sure,
too, as well.
Yeah, artistic fulfillment is a sort of dubious proposition.
Mm-hmm.
My response is to go to Taco Bell.
My response is to go to Taco Bell. But I think his is B. I'm going B for him.
You're going B?
Even though no one in the chat is.
Okay.
But I guess I don't really know who Robert Browning is. Is that a joke I'm missing?
He's cited maybe 100 times in this book.
Okay.
Characters paraphrase him without naming him.
That's what I think he does. Because then what I would do is I would be like, maybe I listen to that one Joseph Campbell thing I listened to again and see if that makes me normal.
For what it's worth, we're no longer in the what is Jude's Tude section. So this is just like this is just a general question. This is just a general multiple choice question.
That's right. This isn't actually happening.
Everyone answered D. Unfortunately, the correct answer is C. So Chris, you got that right. And everybody out there got it wrong. So right now they're 1 for 2 in the multiple choice. 1 and 1. It's already 7:38. That means we got to speed through part 4.
I gotta go soon.
And look, the human was more powerful in him than the divine. It's part of the presentation.
Wow.
I was like, this is we got to mention this. We got to talk about that. So you're all wrong. Caesar to salad. Yes, all of you are wrong together. Even though some of you presumably did vote for option C. So, part 4. Jude visits Sue at the spot where they shot that commercial.
Right.
At Shaston. Sue again expresses frustrations about marriage.
This is really unpleasant for me. I don't know what's going on, but I'm having some unbelievably uncanny parallels that are freaking me out. Keep going.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No. It's fascinating. I'm fascinated, but it is really creepy. And I'll explain them to you later, and I think you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Sure. Sue says, and this is just like incredible. I have been thinking that the social molds civilization fits us into have no more relation to our actual shapes than the conventional shapes of the constellations have to the real star patterns. I am called Mrs. Richard Phillotson, living a calm, wedded life with my counterpart of that name. But I am not really Mrs. Richard Phillotson, but a woman tossed about all alone with aberrant passions and unaccountable antipathies. Ugh. Aunt Dracula, her name's actually Aunt Drusilla. Her name's Aunt Drusilla, but Aunt Dracula is just kind of right there. She passes away. Sue attends the funeral and admits to Jude that she has not been intimate with Phillotson and that she can't bring herself to do it. It's been a couple weeks and there's obviously an expectation at the time that would have already happened, and she sheepishly admits to just like not really being able to, not feeling that for him. She writes, or rather says to Jude, I like Mr. Phillotson as a friend. And again, there's the tension. He's a learned man. He's well read. She wants to just be in his company as a friend. But the only way to keep in his company is to have agreed to marry him. Really very sad. Jude, at this point, she stays in town after the funeral. She stays at another person's abode, and Jude is over in his quarters. And at one point, he hears a rabbit has been caught in a snare. It's a very metaphorical image of rabbit caught in a snare. He puts the rabbit out of its misery. In so doing, they contemplate, because she sees this happening. She says, "Oh, I'm glad you did that because I was about to go out and do that to put the rabbit out of its misery. I'm glad you did that." They get to talking. At some point, there's vague imputations, vague gesturings toward the possibility of them both ending their respective partnerships. Or rather, I think Sue specifically leaving Phillotson, but they never go there. The next day they part and they smooch. They do the cinematic thing with it. The first kiss.
Whoa.
They do the, well, at one point Sue kisses like the top of his head from behind, but that's it.
That's just cute.
That's just cute. This is like an impassioned kiss, and it happens very cinematically where she's heading toward the train, he's heading in the other direction. They're both walking away, and then they both turn around to see each other at the same time and then run back into each other's arms and smooch. Ugh. Jude instantaneously says, well, that's it for my religious career.
Based.
He says, at one point, let's see, what does he say?
Him saying that's it for my religious career, that's me going, well, I guess I can't keep getting unemployment. I guess I got to go get a job.
Yeah. The kiss was a turning point in Jude's career. Back again in the cottage and left to reflection, he saw one thing, that though this kiss, his kiss, of that aerial being had seemed the purest moment of his faultful life, as long as he nourished this unlicensed tenderness, it was glaringly inconsistent for him to pursue the idea of becoming the soldier and servant of a religion in which sexual love was regarded as, at its best, a frailty and at worst a damnation. Just, again, it's this dissonance, this inability to just sort of live life as we may be compelled to by our instinct, because you need to rise in the social hierarchy. Sue asks Phillotson, very direct, can we separate? And Phillotson initially is flummoxed by this, flabbergasted. He's resistant, taken aback. They exchange notes because they both work in this school and they're both teaching different classes. She's teaching a girls' class, he's teaching a boys' class, and they dispatch students to send notes between the classes. And there's like this whole back and forth, but it's kind of, the image is kind of comic because the letters they're exchanging back and forth was Phillotson writing, "You're not serious about wanting to end this relationship, right?" And she says, "Oh yeah, I'm very serious about wanting to leave. Please
let me do
me this kindness. Like, I really need this." And you're imagining the kids just sort of completely ignorant, just sort of trotting back and forth between classes. Sue self-defenestrates. So Sue throws herself out the window. She's asleep, and Falatzen is just sort of heading into his home, enters this bedchamber to change, doesn't realize that Sue's there. Sue wakes up, sees that he's there, and gets so freaked out that she jumps out the window.
Oh, okay.
And this just sort of drives home to him. Okay, I get the message. This is not working out. She's so freaked out by just my mere presence in the home that she is prepared to jump out the window. Yeah. Thankfully, the way that the road is constructed, the road has been built up so much, and the home has been there for so long. They're living in this really old house on that hill, that she jumps out the window, and it's a very short fall. She hurts her elbow, kind of. So Falatzen goes to a friend, an old church chum named, or school chum named Mr. Gillingham. And Falatzen, perhaps to the surprise of the readership, says, the only right and proper thing to do is to let her go. And this guy is, again, baffled.
I think Falatzen's kind of a good guy.
Yeah. No, I think
he didn't pressure her into sex before she felt comfortable with it. Mm-hmm. And, he's heartbroken because his wife's like, I'm not into you. But he is sort of like, oh, okay, you really are not into me. Like, I don't think there's a solution here. Go on your way.
She is one of the oddest creatures I have ever met. However, this is Falatzen talking to his friend. However, I have been struck with these two facts, the extraordinary sympathy or similarity between the pair, Sue and Jude. They seem to be one person split in two, and with her unconquerable aversion to myself as a husband, even though she may like me as a friend, 'tis too much to bear longer. She has conscientiously struggled against it, but to no purpose. I cannot bear it. I cannot. I can't answer her arguments. She has read 10 times as much as I. Her intellect sparkles like diamonds, while mine smolders like brown paper. She's one too many for me. He says, now when a woman jumps out a window without caring whether she breaks her neck or no, she's not to be mistaken.
Yeah.
Like that.
Facts.
Yeah. He says, I shall let her go, with him certainly, if she wishes. I know I may be wrong. I know I can't logically or religiously defend my concession to such a wish as hers, or harmonize it with the doctrines I was brought up in. Only I know one thing. Something within me tells me I am doing wrong in refusing her. I, like other men, profess to hold that if a husband gets such a so-called preposterous request from his wife, the only course that can possibly be regarded as right and proper and honorable in him is to refuse it, and put her virtuously under lock and key, and murder her lover perhaps. But is that essentially right and proper and honorable, or is it contemptibly mean and selfish? I don't profess to decide. I simply am going to act by instinct and let principles take care of themselves. It's like it's a pretty shocking turn in a book that to this point has been, I think, demonstrably against Jude and Sue.
Yeah.
As if fate has a hand in it. He makes this choice, and it's really striking.
So it's it's like an Instagram post, but it's a story. You know how they do the story text and then they make that a post? And it's like black background, white text, and it's like bro thinks he's Falatzen, 3 laugh emojis. Bro's not even Jude, 3 crying emojis.
Bro's Gillingham.
Yeah.
Because Gillingham responds as like, what are you talking about? Everybody's going to be freaked out. Everyone's going to have no idea what the fuck you're doing. You have to explain this to people. Tell her no. Tell her no and move on. And he's, Gillingham, I guess, a voice of the contemporary society when he is dismissive of this. But again, he holds firm. When he's leaving, and Gillingham says, stick to her. That's his last words as he flings into the darkness. And Falatzen, alone down the road a little ways, says to himself, so Gillingham, my friend, you had no stronger arguments against it than this? That's the best you got?
Boom.
Yeah. Sue and Jude depart.
To Aldbrickham.
Aldbrickham, a place where they aren't very well known. Of course, with the caveat that they go to the inn.
Right.
Where... and this is interesting. So they part ways, and Jude initially reserves them a room at a temperance house, where they're going to share quarters. And Jude on the train says, "This is the plan."
That's the Holiday Inn where they were.
That's the Holiday Inn where they were
breakfast.
Right. And Sue says, "No, that doesn't feel right or proper to me. We should be in separate quarters." And Jude is immediately he meets this with scorn. Do you really love me then? And again, it's this tension. I think that she feels like the only way to stay close to Jude is to grant this.
That's your name?
Right, exactly. That's my name, Grant. Don't wear it out.
Yeah, it's like she probably has so much, like, she probably doesn't even know how to trust her own romantic feelings towards someone.
Sure.
Because it's so couched in, like, I'm constantly sort of having this brought to me that I don't really know how to even bring it out from myself, kind of.
And when she learns that he and Arabella shared quarters at this place, her reaction is one of envy. And you're sort of in the back of your mind, I think, as a reader, there's an initial impulse to sort of say, well, which is it? But ultimately, the double bind that she's in, she wants to be with Jude. She's attracted to him. But she knows the second she gives into that impulse, she potentially risks being relegated to a very different role in his life.
Yes.
She risks being set to the side or being held in a distinctly subservient position to Jude when what she wants is a companion and a friend.
And isn't that ironic too? Because that's sort of like Jude chasing the sort of romanticism that lines up, like, her ideal would also be his, but he doesn't have the follow, like, he's not actually doing the thing correctly. He's just sort of trying to have the appearances and aesthetics of it.
When Tcholakian says that they're two sides of the same coin, you get the impression that if the two were simply to combine, or if Sue were a man and in the position of Jude, she would be able to do far more with his condition, his state of affairs in life than he has been able to this point. She seems she has a much stronger head on her shoulders than Jude. Tcholakian is fired because eventually, after several weeks go by, they start asking, well, where's your wife? You just moved to town. Where's your wife? He gets fired. The community is very aggressive. And the part 4 ends with Tcholakian saying, I should just grant a legal divorce. I'm not going to be able to get a job as a teacher anymore. I need to figure out a new stream of income. He gets sick. Sue comes to visit him. He gets sick. Sue comes to visit him, and in the visit, she expresses that, it seems like Jude's gonna get an actual official divorce from Arabella because Arabella wants a divorce now. And so Tcholakian gets the idea, well, I should also similarly free her from this marriage. And that's how part 4 ends. The last multiple choice question.
Okay.
And then we're gonna speed through this because we're getting near the end of the class. You're Mr. Gillingham. Your friend comes to you with a harrowing tale of love lost, culminating in your friend's resolution to let his betrothed live her life with another man. How long are you able to fight off the impulse to say, take my wife, please, under your breath? A, you would never say that during such a sensitive, challenging situation. You would never make that joke with your friend when he's going through it emotionally. You would never do that. B, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you can make it 5 minutes and then you give in.
First you do the sort of like emotional stuff, and then you're like, when there's a first sort of quiet moment, that's when you slip it.
So you're telling Jude to take my wife, please. Option C. The year is 1870 something, and you don't know who Rodney Dangerfield is. Your best guess is that's the name of the guy who uses a staff to clear the planting ground of gopher holes.
Right, because Dangerfield, right? Yeah.
And he uses a rod.
That's the names.
Option C, you wait until he leaves and then watch a bunch of Dangerfield compilations to take the edge off. Because you've been biting your lip so hard it's bleeding.
Yeah. You should do D, but if I'm being real, for me it's B.
Sure.
I'm going to try to be like, I'm sorry to hear that, man. And then I'm going to be like, let me lighten things with a joke. And I'll be like, I don't think they really were into it. And I'll be frustrated.
We got the poll up. This poll is going to be up for like 30 seconds max. So everybody get their votes in quick. Yeah, 2's kind of running away with it. Or B, rather. B's running away with it. And who can blame you? Ooh, now it's close. It's a close one.
Gillingham.
It's still a tie. Somebody break the tie. Oh, option D. Unfortunately, the answer was C.
The answer is C.
Or excuse me, B.
B. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it's B.
It's B.
So you guys only got 1 out of 3 right on the multiple choice, which is going to affect your grade in a pretty negative way. I hate to say it. I really do hate to say it. And, there are people who got extra credit, so that's going to help them out a lot by attending the Friday stream. But you still you can get it back with a free response question. And by the way, we're close to the pizza party. That'd be a great way to end the show. Free response question number 1. What would you get as a wedding present for Jude and Sue in the event that they become betrothed? We don't know for a fact that they're going to get married. In fact, there's lots to suggest that maybe they wouldn't be into it. Bug with the Yacht says toaster. Pretty good option.
I'm putting the scores in.
Nice. So yeah, I would say just like...
I'm giving everyone 4.
Out of 5?
Yeah.
They only got 1 right out of 3.
They got 2, I thought. Oh, no, I got 2.
You got 2.
I'm giving them 2.
Yeah. It's gonna pull down the averages in a pretty real way.
I'm giving myself 5.
Someone says condoms.
Nice.
Molly Shannon, Best of SNL DVD. Give Bug with a Yacht
MF Doom would love that.
a good score. What if we watched the VOD from Friday? We'll give you some extra credit for that. No, you had to be there.
You have to be there.
You have to be there
to experience it.
The essays are worth points. If anyone submitted an essay and I missed it, please. Anyone who subscribed can submit an essay. Which, by the way, we got inundated with stuff. I just want to say thank you for enrolling in the class, Mike1870, and thank you, Laser Lady, for gifting that subscription.
Mike1870?
Yeah. Matching my cousin shirts with the arrow.
That's good.
That's really good. That's really good. Caesar to salad. We'll give you some points for that. Let me see if I can do this here. I'm trying to get my grades up too, because these are great responses. How do you submit an essay? At Red Table Talk in the chat, and respond to the essay prompt, which is who would be Jude's favorite Daily Show correspondent?
Mm-hmm. I know my answer.
What's your answer?
Someone said it in the chat earlier, but I think Colbert, because he sort of he feels the most sort of apolitical at that moment, because he's doing the I'm conservative wrong style. So you're kind of oh, okay, he's not the liberal.
Right.
And then Sue's trying to explain to him, he is liberal. He's doing a bit.
Right.
And Jude's no, I think he's just sort of this is all silly.
Boy, these grades are looking rough.
Well, I gave myself some extra points.
And okay. Oh yeah, you gave yourself the free response. Get that. Hold on. Look at what Chris did. We need to take a look at this. Look at these grades. And it's because Chris gave himself a bunch of points for the free response question. I think right now everybody's kind of got an 8 on the free response question. They're doing fairly well. And then the essay, there we go. Now we're looking reasonable here. Everybody's freaking out about their grade, I bet. There's just no denying it.
Well, I have an A+.
Well, yeah, of course you have an A+. Let's see. Everybody's so pissed about the grades. I mean, look, everybody, I think most of the people that are in chat at least have a B- at this point.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think that people have done pretty well with the FRQ. But I want to give Bug with a Giat, because I really liked that response.
They're not in there.
They're not in there. Damn. Oh, okay.
What?
We have a response from
What did you get as a
Naked
point?
Comedy.
Here we go. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, this is a very short essay. There's a maximum page count, or rather word count, of 60. And you came well under that Naked Comedy with your submission, TDS era Colbert. That's a great, that deserves a great grade. I think that is a great answer. I think that Colbert is really humming in that period.
God, he was so good back then. God.
He really was.
Sucks what happened to him.
and then it's gonna negatively affect a lot of grades that aren't naked comedies. So we gotta adjust that. This is the portion of the show where basically you just hear me kind of groaning as I try to figure out the rest of this fucking shit.
Fucking bullshit.
And it is a lot easier than if you can believe it. This was even more impacted and difficult as a process before.
Well, now I have an A-. What the hell?
And that's got to be hard for you.
It is.
Jamie Christ Superstar submitted an essay. This is great.
Who he would fail to recognize as gay.
Hold on. We got to get it up. Before we react. We got to get it on the screen. Really, really good. Really good. Thank you, Jamie. I love you. No one else in chat is getting an I love you tonight. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's got to be Grace Kuhlenschmidt, who he would fail to recognize as gay. He would write her a letter every day for a year, show up at a taping, then come on extremely strongly. When she blows him off, he walks into traffic.
That feels right.
Very good. Very good. And I'm not biased at all when I give Jamie Christ Superstar a really good grade for that essay. Boy, the grade curve is a little rough, and I think it's because you gave yourself so many points, Chris.
I did a good job.
Well, let's wrap this up. We're so close to being done. Oh, thank you so much, Bug with a Yacht. Oh, and Bug with a Yacht enrolled. That's terrific. Thank you, Anonymous, for gifting that subscription. We're so close to the pizza party. Free response question number 2. What would your cousin have to do to give you the ick?
I mean, for me, it's probably be my cousin, right? Like, that's a tough one to come back from.
Huh?
Like, just for me, it's probably her being my cousin. That's giving me the ick. But, like, other stuff,
It's an interesting answer.
if she's, like, really into Harry Potter.
Someone says exist. That's interesting. Be a Shane Gillis fan. That would turn me off from my
That'd be
cousin.
tough, yeah.
I would sort of be like, I no longer want to.
I would just be like, why are you, like, why him specifically?
Blues Traveler NFT points. Blues Traveler NFT points. Points. Why'd you do Kermit?
I don't know.
You just did Kermit.
It just felt right. Points.
I think everybody's responding to this like, what, besides be my cousin? Not really answering in the spirit. You're not really,
forest through the trees.
You're kind of not getting it. You're kind of not really getting it.
For me, it's like if they were like...
Someone said get stuck in a washing machine.
Not bring Flea into the room.
Not bringing Flea into the room. That's not great. Get mad when I went to sleep in my own room, shaking my head. I need my rest.
Be previously involved with a different cousin. That's a good one.
That is
like,
really good.
You're just looking for cousins. You're not even looking for me.
Geriatric Edgelord, you're here. We got to give you your points for being in attendance. And the multiple choice and a great response. Big turnoff for me would be no sense of humor. Great response, Creative Steve. That would be a reason to not want to sleep with your cousin. I agree. Really good point. Matt Mitchell sort of submitted an essay for later. Really good. Getting more ass cat stage time than me. Another good reason.
Wouldn't know about that.
Being a billionaire. Huge turnoff. If my cousin was a billionaire, I would not want to sleep with my cousin. Really good point.
What would be a turnoff for me as well?
Sully Vegan, take my cousin, please. Really good. Really good job. Okay, and by the way, these grades are all going to get updated later. Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We are over our time limit. What is that?
What was that
What is
noise?
playing? I'm going to assume that I'm the only one who heard that. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great night.
Night.
Bye, folks.